All right, so again, Daryl asked, how do I make my camera in the game follow the ball so I can keep seeing where it goes and it doesn't just roll past the camera? So the best and simplest and most powerful way to do this is with a package called Cinemachine. So just like in the tutorial where they show you to go to Window Package Manager to get the WebGL package for publishing your game, this is also where you can get Cinemachine. So again, that was Window Package Manager. All right, once you're in the Package Manager, you need to click the little drop down in the upper left corner and change it from whatever it is, either in project or my assets, change it to Unity Registry. That's going to give you a list of all the packages that are available. Be careful installing some of these. You probably don't want them in your projects. Okay, so what we're looking for is Cinemachine. It's alphabetical. Cinemachine right there. So Daryl's going to click install. You see it spinning. As long as your internet is working, it should download really fast. It has to recompile some scripts for a second. There we go. Okay. So once you see this little green check mark next to Cinemachine in the package manager, you know you got it. Also, when you go back up here and choose in project, we can see that in our project it does indeed have Cinemachine. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to say this really fast because Cinemachine is a huge subject. There, we could take an entire course just on Cinemachine. But we're going to just do a real simple example here. So all we need to do is select the main camera that's already in the scene, the one that Daryl set up. Then we need to go to Game Object, menu at the top, choose Cinemachine, and then let's add a virtual camera. Now, there's a bunch of different types of cameras in here, and depending on what type of game you're making, you may want to choose a different one. For instance, in my version, I used a free look camera, but for this example, let's just use virtual camera. That's the simplest one. Okay, and I'll just call it camera 1. Doesn't matter what you call it as long as you know what it is. Okay, so very importantly, there's 2 slots in the virtual camera we just made for follow and look at. Okay, so Daryl, what are we trying to follow and look at? Yeah, the sphere. So with the camera 1 selected, where we can see these slots, we're going to click and drag in one motion sphere into both of those slots. Right there and right there. Okay. So we can see now that the camera is snapped and is looking right at that red sphere. Okay. So there's a lot of settings within this. Like if you wanted to change how far away it's aiming from it, you can open up the aim settings and you can offset it so we can make it not be exactly on it if we want. And then there's also transposing, so we can move it around like that. Okay, so now whenever you hit play, and actually let's move the camera around a little bit, like over here. Okay, so now if we get off of this and maybe make the game view a little bigger and hit play, hopefully Daryl already has rigid body set up on his sphere so that it falls with gravity right now, hopefully. There we go. So now we can see the camera is struggling to try to stay with the ball because there's things in the way. Wow. So, Daryl, I leave it to you to experiment with the different settings inside of the virtual camera There's a lot of different things you can do to change how it follows the ball. But that's basically it. You just want it to follow and look at whatever you're trying to look at in the game. If you want more in-depth information about how to set up a proper camera with Cinemachine, there's lots of tutorials on the Unity Learn site. Just search Cinemachine.